My key worked in the front door. That was the only lock she hadn't changed. I had been in the hospital for 11 days. Surgery, then a complication, then 4 more days nobody planned for. My husband picked me up Thursday afternoon and drove me home, and was quiet in the car, in the specific way of a man who knows what you are about to walk into, and has decided to let you find it yourself. I found it. Bedroom lock, changed. New key I didn't have. Home office, changed. New key I didn't have. Basement storage, my mother's jewelry, my legal files, 11 years of professional records, changed. New key I didn't have. She was in my kitchen when I walked in, cooking. In an apron she had purchased herself and hung on my hook by my back door like she had always hung things on that hook. She turned around when she heard me and smiled the way you smile at someone who has arrived somewhere you have been managing in their absence. Warmly, with the relaxed ease of a woman who is at home. In my home. "Welcome back," she said. "I've made some improvements." I put my bag down. I took out my phone. I opened the document I had been building from my hospital bed for 11 days. "Let's go through them," I said. My name is Laura Haynes. I am 36 years old. I am a real estate attorney with 11 years of practice. I know precisely what the deed to a property means. I know precisely what unauthorized lock replacement constitutes under state law. I know precisely what happens when someone retains keys to a property they do not own, and I had known since day 10 exactly what I was coming home to. I had prepared accordingly. Here is what happened. Part 1. The architecture of a pattern. Nothing that happened in those 11 days appeared from nowhere. Margaret Haynes, my mother-in-law, 64 years old, retired office manager, a woman of tremendous energy and absolute conviction about how spaces should be organized, had been a consistent and specifically textured presence in our marriage from its first week. Not malicious. I want to establish this at the beginning and mean it throughout. Margaret was not a cruel woman. She was not operating from spite or strategic intent. She was operating from something more complicated and in some ways more difficult to address. The absolute, unexamined certainty of a woman who had spent 40 years organizing other people's environments professionally and had, upon retirement, redirected that entire professional identity toward the one remaining environment available to her: her son's life. She had opinions about our house from her first visit. The kitchen layout was inefficient. The refrigerator and the stove were on the same wall, creating a workflow problem she had noticed immediately. The guest bedroom needed different curtains. The ones I had chosen blocked too much light for the room's orientation. The garden in the back was under-leveraged given the soil quality and sun exposure. She had ideas. She always had ideas. These opinions arrived as observations. Never demands, never ultimatums. Just the steady, generous-seeming flow of a woman who noticed things and shared what she noticed because she genuinely wanted to help. Because helping, improving, organizing, making functional what was inefficient, was the primary language through which she expressed care. The problem with this language, which I had spent 3 years trying to articulate to myself and 1 year trying to articulate to Thomas, was what it assumed: that the person receiving the help had not already made their own decisions. That the kitchen layout was a problem rather than a choice. That the curtains were an oversight rather than a selection. That the garden was unfinished rather than in progress at my pace. I was a real estate attorney. I had purchased this house before I met Thomas. The deed carried my name alone. The mortgage was in my name. Every room had been chosen and furnished and organized by me with professional and personal deliberateness. The kitchen layout was exactly how I wanted it. The guest bedroom curtains were exactly what I had selected. The garden was a project I was building slowly, on weekends, as I had time and inclination. I had said this on 3 separate occasions in the first year of our marriage. Calmly, directly, without anger. Margaret received my clarity the way she received most things that contradicted her assessment. Warmly, apparently without argument, and entirely without effect. She continued to notice, She continued to share. The opinions kept arriving with the pleasant reliability of a newsletter you cannot unsubscribe from. Thomas, my husband, 38, a project manager at a tech company, a good man in most of the ways that matter, had a blind spot in this specific area that was architectural rather than personal. He could not, when the person doing the thing was his mother, identify behavior as a problem until the problem had taken a form so concrete, so undeniable, so physically present, that reframing it as helpfulness required a level of effort he was no longer willing to apply. I had been waiting for 3 years for that form. I had not imagined it would require me to be absent for 11 days to finally arrive. Part 2. The surgery and the call. I had a hysterectomy scheduled for a Tuesday in March. Planned, not emergency. A condition managed conservatively for 2 years, finally reaching the threshold where surgery was the clearest path. I approached it the way I approach most logistical challenges, with a clear plan, identified contingencies, and the specific efficiency of someone who does not enjoy uncertainty and prefers to collapse it in advance. Thomas would be home. He worked remotely 3 days a week and had arranged full remote work for the 2 weeks of my expected recovery. Margaret had offered, as she always offered everything, warmly, with the assumption of yes. I had thanked her and said we would let her know if we needed anything. I meant it as a gentle deflection. She heard it as an open door. The surgery went normally. Day 3, an infection. Not dangerous, not dramatic, but requiring IV antibiotics and extended monitoring. 4 planned days became 11. Thomas visited every morning and every evening. He was present and attentive and genuinely distressed in the way of a man who loves someone and is watching them be unwell and cannot do anything about it except be there. He called his mother on day 4. I understand this. I have spent considerable time since making sure I understand it, because the ease with which I could frame it as the moment everything went wrong is precisely the kind of framing I want to avoid. He was tired. He was stressed. He was managing a house alone while his wife was in the hospital, and the conference calls still happened, and the grocery shopping still needed doing, and he was, under all of that, scared. His mother was 40 minutes away and available and wanted to help. He called her and said she could come for a few days. She came that afternoon. She was still there on the morning of day 11, when I came home. Part 3. The document. Here is what Thomas did not understand he was doing every evening when he called me from home. He was building my case. He called because he missed me, and because the calls connected us across the 11 days of separation. He told me about his day, about work, about what he'd eaten, about how the house was, about what Margaret was doing. I want to reproduce the updates as he gave them, because the sequence matters. The way each day moved slightly further than the day before, the specific grammar of an escalation that feels incremental from inside it and only becomes visible as a pattern from outside. Day 4. Mom arrived this afternoon. She cleaned the kitchen. It actually needed it. Made a full dinner. The house smells good. Day 5. She reorganized the pantry. She has a whole system. I can actually find things now. Day 6. She moved the couch and the armchairs. She says the light is better from this angle. I think she might be right. Day 7. She found the storage room locked and asked me for the spare key. I gave it to her. She wants to organize the boxes down there. She said you had some of your mom's things that weren't properly stored. I sat up in my hospital bed. Which key? I said. The spare. From the kitchen. Thomas, I said. My mother's jewelry is in those boxes. My personal financial records going back to 2019. Client documents from closed cases that I am legally required to maintain. I need you to go to the storage room right now and tell me what has been moved. He went. The call took 4 minutes. I counted them. He came back and reported 3 boxes relocated to a new shelving system she had assembled. My mother's jewelry in its original case, undisturbed. The financial records in labeled folders in a new organizational framework that was, he said, honestly quite logical. I don't care if it's logical, I said. Those are my documents. She had no authorization to access them, reorganize them, or handle them in any way. I need you to understand that. I paused. Is she still in the storage room? She's downstairs, yes. Tell her to leave the storage room tonight, and I need you to take the spare key back. Silence. Thomas? She'll think I don't trust her. Thomas, I said. This is not about trust. This is about authorization. She is not authorized to access that room or those documents. Neither trust nor distrust is relevant. Authorization is. He took the key back. He told me about it the next evening with the slightly compressed quality of someone who has had an uncomfortable conversation and come through it. I added day 7 to the document. Day 8. She went to the bedroom while I was on a call. She put up new curtains. She bought them herself. She said the ones you had were blocking too much light. The old ones are in the garage in a bag. She said you could put them back if you wanted, but she thought these were better for the room. I read that update twice. She had gone into my bedroom, had taken down curtains I had chosen and hung and lived with for 3 years, had replaced them with curtains she had selected and purchased with her own money, had framed the original curtains as an option I was welcome to restore if I disagreed with her judgment. Day 9. She used the spare key. She must have kept a copy or found the other one in the junk drawer to go into your office. She said it was getting dusty and she wanted to organize it before you came home. She has a label maker. Everything is labeled. It looks very professional. I thought about my home office, the filing system I had built over 11 years of practice. The specific, functional disorder of a working professional's desk. Not chaos, but a system visible only to the person who built it. The active files, the closed files, the reference materials, the equipment. All of it now labeled. All of it in a new order I had not created and did not know. Day 10. Laura, I need to tell you something. She had a locksmith come today. She said the locks on the bedroom, your office, and the storage room were outdated and a security risk, and she wanted to upgrade them before you came home. I should have stopped it. I didn't. I read that message 3 times. Then I called him. Does she have the new keys? I said. Yes. She has 2 sets. She gave me 1 set. She has keys to the locks she had installed on my property, I said. Yes, he said, quietly. Thomas, I said, I am going to ask you to do one thing. Do not tell her I know about the locks. Do not tell her I know about any of it. I need her to not have the night to prepare. Why? He said. Because I need to see what she does when I walk through the door without warning, I said. And I need to see whether you will stand beside me when I address it. He was quiet for a long moment. I'll be beside you, he said. I updated the document. I formatted it as I would format a legal exhibit. Date, time, description, supporting detail, category of concern. I sent a copy to my personal cloud storage. I sent a second copy to my work email. Then I spent day 11 in the hospital, finishing my antibiotics, waiting to go home. Part 4. The Drive. Thomas picked me up at 2 p.m. He was warm and present and clearly glad to have me coming home. He was also quiet in the specific way I had come to recognize over 8 years of knowing him. The quiet of a man sitting with something he has not resolved. He mentioned Margaret had made a welcome home dinner. He mentioned she had set up the guest bedroom for herself, the guest bedroom in my house, so she could stay during my first week of recovery. She had assumed she would be staying. She assumed, I said. She wants to help, he said. I didn't ask her to stay. The quiet changed quality. Thomas, I said, I need to say something before we walk in. What she has done over 11 days, I have documented all of it. I know exactly what happened, in what order, on what day. I am going to address it today, calmly, completely, and without asking for mediation. I turned to look at him. What I need from you is what I have always needed in situations like this and have not always had. Be present. Not in front of me, not translating behind me, beside me. Completely and without offering the middle ground. He looked at the road. I watched it happen for a week, he said. I should have stopped it on day 5. Yes, I said. But the question is what you do today. That's the question I need answered. Beside you, he said, the whole time. Thank you, I said. We pulled into the driveway. I got out of the car and stood for a moment looking at the house. My house. The pale gray paint I had chosen, the front garden I had planted, the door with the lock she had not changed, either an oversight or a specific decision, and I was not sure which was more telling. I put my key in the lock. I opened the door. Part 5. The room. I stood in my own doorway, and I looked at my living room, and I took a full 10 seconds to simply look at it before I moved or spoke, or did anything. The couch, against the far wall, rotated toward the window at an angle I had never used. The armchairs, repositioned to face each other. The layout of a room designed for conversation, rather than the layout I had chosen, which was designed for the specific way I use my evenings. The shelving, reorganized. My books in a different order. Color-coded, apparently, which was visually elegant and entirely disconnected from how I find things. The rug moved 18 inches toward the window. On the side table, a plant I had never seen before, a succulent in a terracotta pot, placed with the casual confidence of something that belongs there. Through the hallway, visible from where I stood, my bedroom. Curtains in a warm cream I would not have chosen, hung at a length slightly longer than I prefer, the specific aesthetic of someone else's taste applied to the window of my room. From the kitchen, the sound of something on the stove, the smell of garlic and herbs. And Margaret, turning from the stove with a wooden spoon in her hand and an expression of uncomplicated welcome. "You're home," she said. Come in. I've made that chicken you like. Thomas said it was your favorite." I set my bag down. I put my hand in my coat pocket and felt my phone. "Margaret," I said, "I need you to give me every key you have to this house, every set." Her expression adjusted. Not collapsed, adjusted. The warm welcome recalibrating around an unexpected variable. "I had the locks upgraded while you were away. I wanted you to come home to something more secure." "I know," I said. "I've known since day 10. I held her eyes. "Every key, please." She looked at Thomas. Thomas was at the kitchen doorway. He had not moved to the middle. He had not produced the usual smoothing gesture. The slight forward lean, the preparatory clearing of the throat, the physical announcement that he was about to find the ground between us. He was standing in my kitchen doorway, looking at his mother with the expression of a man who has made a decision and is keeping it. Beside me, exactly where he said he would be. Margaret reached into her cardigan pocket. She produced a key ring. She worked 2 keys off it, the new keys, bright and unscratched, and held them out. "There's a second set," I said. A pause. She reached into her bag. A second set. She placed them on the counter. I put all 4 keys in my coat pocket. Then I sat down at my kitchen table, moving the chair back from where she had relocated it to where I keep it, and I took out my phone and opened the document. Part 6. The reading. "I'd like to go through what happened while I was away," I said. "I've kept a record. I want to make sure I have it complete." Margaret stood on the other side of the kitchen island, the wooden spoon still in her hand, something in her face, the quality of a woman who has not been spoken to in this register before and is uncertain of the terrain. "Day 4, I said. "Kitchen cleaned, pantry reorganized. Day 5, living room furniture repositioned, couch moved to the east wall, armchairs reoriented, rug relocated. I note the addition of a plant I did not purchase on the side table." I looked up briefly, then back down. Day 6, storage room accessed using the spare key from the kitchen drawer, 3 boxes relocated, personal financial records reorganized without authorization. Day 7, master bedroom curtains removed and replaced with curtains purchased without consultation. Original curtains bagged and placed in garage. I turned the phone slightly. Day 8, home office accessed, presumably with a second copy made from the spare key. Desk and filing system reorganized, all items labeled. Day 9, I paused. Day 9, you had a locksmith attend the property and replace the locks on the master bedroom, the home office, and the basement storage room. You retained 2 sets of the new keys for yourself without informing me. I put the phone down. I'm a real estate attorney, I said. I want to be precise with you about the legal framework of what I've just described, because I think precision matters here more than it has mattered in previous conversations we've had. I kept my voice at the level I used when explaining legal risk to clients, not threatening, not emotional, simply exact. Replacing the locks on a residential property without the owner's knowledge or consent and retaining keys to that property constitutes unauthorized modification of private property. Accessing and reorganizing personal financial records and professional legal documents without authorization is a more serious matter. It touches on professional privilege and potentially on data protection obligations I have as an attorney. I held her eyes. I have a time-stamped document. I have kept copies in 2 locations. I am choosing not to file a complaint. I need you to sit with the size of that choice for a moment before we continue. The kitchen was absolutely silent. The stove was still on. I could hear the faint sound of the chicken in the pan. Thomas had not moved. Margaret put the wooden spoon down on the counter. Very carefully, like setting down something heavier than it was. I was trying to help, she said. Her voice was different from usual, quieter, the management dialed back, something more unguarded underneath. I know, I said. I believe you. That's the part of this I'm not in any doubt about. Your intention was to help. I paused. What I need you to understand is that intention and authorization are different things. You can want very much to help someone and still not have the right to enter their home and change it without their knowledge. The wanting doesn't create the permission. She sat down on the kitchen stool. I've been doing this for 3 years, she said, quietly, surprising me. The opinions, the suggestions, you've told me. I heard you, She stopped. I thought I knew better, about the curtains, about the storage system, about all of it. She looked at her hands. I thought knowing better was the same as being right. The kitchen was very still. It isn't, I said. No, she said. I see that it isn't. Part 7, the inventory. I need the house restored, I said. Everything you changed returned to how it was when I went into surgery. The curtains from the garage go back on the bedroom windows. The furniture goes back to where it was. The pantry goes back. My office goes back. The storage room is restored to how I had it. I folded my hands on the table. The weekend. I'll give you the weekend. Thomas will help. Monday morning I want to come into every room and find it as I left it. Margaret looked at Thomas. He said, "We start this afternoon." She looked at me. "I know where everything was," she said. "I know you do," I said. "I documented it." She almost smiled, not a warm smile, something more complicated. Something that acknowledged, without saying it, that she had been outmaneuvered by a person who had been lying in a hospital bed, and that there was something in this she recognized as fair. "The chicken," she said. She stood and went back to the stove and turned down the burner. "We should eat first, and then we'll start." "Fine," I said. We ate together at the kitchen table, the 3 of us, in a silence that was neither comfortable nor hostile. Just honest. The silence of a situation that had been named, accurately and completely, and was now simply present while people adjusted to it. After dinner, Margaret washed the dishes. She asked where the dish towels were, then stopped herself. She knew where the dish towels were. She had reorganized that drawer on day 5. She dried her hands and put the towel back where she had put it. "I'll put it back where it was on Monday," she said. not to me specifically. To the room. Part 8. The weekend. Saturday and Sunday they worked. I observed from the couch, where I had been instructed to remain for the first week of recovery. I was not, I want to be clear, directing the restoration with pointed commentary or detailed criticism. I had the document, and I had trusted it to do the work. What was required now was patience and the specific, quiet satisfaction of watching a house return to itself. Thomas worked with focused efficiency. He rehung my curtains, the ones I had chosen, measured, and installed 3 years ago for the light in that window at that time of day, with the care of someone performing a task that matters. He moved the furniture back without comment. He restored the shelving. Margaret worked alongside him. This was the part that surprised me most. She worked without commentary, without suggesting that her version had actually been better, without proposing a middle ground arrangement that split the difference. She simply put things back. My things, in my places, in my order. She worked in my home office for 2 hours, carefully removing her labels and restoring my filing system. And when she was done, she came and told me it was done and asked if I wanted to check it before she finished for the day. I checked it. It was right. "Thank you," I said. She nodded. Sunday evening, the house was mine again. Not approximately mine, completely mine. The couch where I put it, the armchairs at the angle I chose, the curtains I had selected framing the windows I had chosen them for. My office with the specific functional geography of a working professional's space. The storage room with my mother's boxes exactly where I had placed them. Margaret stood in the kitchen doorway at 7 p.m. with her bag packed. "I'll go home in the morning," she said. "If there's anything during your recovery, something specific, something you ask for, you know where I am." The grammar of it. Something you ask for. She had heard it, was now speaking it back. "I know," I said. "Thank you for the weekend." She looked at me for a moment. "I'm sorry, Laura," she said. Not elaborated, not explained, just said, "I'm sorry." "I know," I said. She left Monday at 8. I heard her car back out of the driveway. I heard the gate at the end close. The house was quiet. I sat in my kitchen, in my chair, at my table, surrounded by every object exactly where I had placed it. I was home. Part 9. Thomas. Monday evening. Thomas and I had the conversation that we had, in some form, been approaching for 3 years. 2 people at a kitchen table. Not a fight, an accounting. The honest, unhurried work of 2 people who have come through something difficult and need to understand what it showed them. "I should have set terms when she arrived," he said. "Yes." "I should have told her the storage key wasn't available before she asked." "Yes." "I should have called the locksmith myself and said no." "Yes." I looked at him. "And I should have addressed the opinions about the kitchen and the curtains and the garden 3 years ago instead of managing them. Every time I absorbed something without saying anything, I showed her, without meaning to, that what she had done was acceptable. That's not her failure. That's mine. We both let this get here." He was quiet for a while. "The phone calls from the hospital," he said. "The updates I gave you every night." "Yes." "You were building a document the whole time." "Yes." "You didn't tell me." "If I had, you would have started editing the updates," I said. "I needed the honest record more than I needed you to know I was keeping it." He thought about this. "That's completely logical," he said, "and a little terrifying." "I'm a litigator," I said. "It's automatic." He almost smiled, then more seriously, "What do you need from me, going forward?" "I need you to stop managing the space between me and your mother," I said. "When something happens in our house or our life, I need you to tell me directly and then stand beside me when I address it. Not translate, not soften, not find the comfortable middle. Beside." I held his eyes. "That's all I need. It turns out it's the most important thing." "Beside," he said. The whole time, I said. He reached across the table and put his hand over mine. I should have been there years ago, he said. You were there Thursday, I said. That's what I'll remember. Part 10. Margaret. She called 2 weeks after she left. Not to relitigate, she was not that kind of person. To ask how my recovery was going, to ask if there was anything I needed, in the specific new grammar of a woman navigating changed terrain with careful attention to her footing. Questions rather than announcements. Would it help if I came Thursday? Is there anything I should bring? I said yes. Thursday afternoon. I had a follow-up appointment, and Thomas had a call he couldn't move. She came Thursday. She drove me to the appointment and waited in the waiting room with a book she had brought for herself. She drove me home. She made tea and sat with me for an hour, and when she said she should head home, she asked if there was anything I needed before she left. I said I was fine. She said goodbye and let herself out through the front door. The front door? The only lock she had never changed. The lock that had always been hers. When she arrived at the door, knocked, and waited. The way she does now. Every time. I sat with my tea and listened to her car pull out of the driveway, and I thought about the specific, important difference between someone who is kept out and someone who has learned to knock. One is a boundary enforced by force. The other is a boundary understood. What she understood, finally, was this. My house was not a problem waiting for her solutions. It was a life already in progress, built by a person who knew what she wanted and had made her choices deliberately. The kitchen layout is efficient, for me. The curtains block exactly the right amount of light, for me. The garden is in progress, at my pace. She understood this. It only took 11 days. Epilogue. The garden. 6 months after the hospital, I planted the garden. Not Margaret's garden, the formal, structured, magazine clipping garden with the clean edges and the symmetrical beds. My garden. The one I had been imagining for 2 years. Slightly wild, practical, a mix of herbs and flowering things that followed their own logic and resisted the kind of organization that required maintenance to sustain. Thomas dug where I pointed. He moved soil when I asked. He held things in place while I figured out where they wanted to go. He did not offer opinions about the arrangement because he had learned, firmly, completely, and without resentment, that the arrangement was mine to make. Margaret came one Saturday in June. She stood at the edge of the garden and looked at it for a long time. "It's beautiful," she said. "Thank you," I said. A pause. "It's not what I would have done," she said. I looked at her. There was no edge in it, no residue of the old pattern. The observation positioned as a helpful correction. It was simply true, and she was saying it simply, with something that looked, from where I was standing, like genuine admiration for a thing that was different from what she would have made. "No," I said. "It isn't." She smiled. "It suits you," she said. "It looks like it grew here." "It did," I said. "I grew it." We went inside and had lunch. The front door, as always, opened with her key. The one she has always had. The one she has always been welcome to use. When she arrives at the door and knocks and waits. The way guests do. The way she does now.